everyone and welcome to CVLOG. So today's CVLOG is going to be focusing on things that vocalists should avoid before they sing. So I've been a full-time musician for about 3 years now, and I did so many things that literally make me cringe now thinking about it. And I used to always wonder why I lost my voice after gigs or why I was losing my voice during my gig, and now I know why, because the things that I ate or the things that I drank really didn't help. And so I wanted to give these tips to you guys today to help you before your live performances. Singing and performing is already nerve-wracking enough without worrying about, is my voice going to do its best because I've drank this or I've eaten this and it's not the best for my voice, or maybe you don't even know what to look out for or you don't even know what to avoid, and that's why I'm here. So, kicking off. Number one, the first thing to avoid is dairy. Avoid dairy before you sing. And this is because it makes it really difficult to sing. And it creates phlegm, it makes you phlegmy, like milk and cream and yogurt and cheese makes you a bit phlegmy. It also kind of gets stuck in your vocal cords, which makes it more difficult to sing. So this will mean that if you have dairy before you sing, you won't sound as clear, and you might even find yourself really straining to kind of get past the, all the dairy that is in your throat, basically. So that would be my tip, is to avoid dairy, avoid it in your food before you sing, avoid it in meals, that kind of thing. It's always best to avoid that before you sing, because otherwise you just end up phlegmy and it's not great for your voice. Maybe you didn't know that dairy foods make you phlegmy, maybe you never even noticed, and now you're like, actually, yeah, last time I had some milk and then after, I didn't sing as well, or something like that. But I certainly noticed, because what I used to do is I used to have cups of tea with quite a lot of milk in before I sang. And I'd be there and I'd be really struggling, or I'd be coughing and I'd be a bit like, oh, I feel a bit phlegmy. That was why. And number 2 on today's list is chocolate. Yes, I'm sorry to tell you that chocolate is not the best thing to eat before you sing. A lot of people know this one, I know, but if you're new to singing or just new to discovering things that you shouldn't eat before you sing, chocolate is definitely one of them, and this is because it coats your throat and your vocal cords. So when you're trying to sing, you'll find yourself straining, you'll find that it feels a bit sticky and a bit gross, and that is why, because the chocolate is literally coating your throat. So definitely avoid chocolate, and avoid hot chocolates. I used to drink hot chocolates before I sang all the time, and then I'd be like, oh wow, I feel really restricted in my vocal cords, and that was why. So yes, avoid chocolate. It makes it so difficult to sing, and it means that you won't sound on form either, because you'll find yourself straining, or you won't be able to hit the high notes because the coating of chocolate is just restricting that. So definitely avoid chocolate. And number 3, caffeine. Oh, so I was absolutely gutted when I found this one out, because I always drink tea. I probably have 5 to 10 cups of tea a day sometimes, maybe not quite 10, but quite a lot of tea. And this is really bad for your voice because it actually dehydrates you, which is something that I didn't know until recently. I had no idea that it dehydrated your vocal cords and, made it more difficult to sing. But there we are. So if you are singing, avoid coffee, avoid tea, avoid fizzy drinks, and avoid energy drinks as well. Don't touch any of that if you're going to sing, because it will honestly dehydrate your voice, and it will mean that you just don't sound as good and you won't sing as well. And as I said, with all the other things, you'll just find it harder to sing. It will be like an effort to actually sing. So avoid caffeine. Number 4, ice water. So this is another thing that I only learned very recently. I'm talking probably in the past 6 months. So before a gig, I would always have my water bottle with me. Seems pretty simple. Always have water, always drink water. But my water was always cold, and sometimes I would even put ice in it because, in the summer I just want a refreshing drink. But this is actually really not good to do. It's actually better to have warm water to drink, so it warms up your voice. Ice water, again, it restricts your vocal cords, and I didn't know that either. I had no idea that it made it more difficult to sing if you had ice water. So I've written down here, because I just read it as I go. This creates a lot of muscle tension, and as a result, it restricts a person's speaking and singing capacity. So I had no idea that that happened. Obviously, I just think, oh, ice is refreshing, it's cold. It'll be fine for my voice, but actually no, warm water is the way to go, not cold or ice water. Room temperature water is probably okay as well. But yeah, avoid ice water. Definitely avoid it, because it'll just make you tense, and it's always better to have warm water, because then your vocal cords will be nice and warm and ready to sing. And finally, last on the list today, no surprise, is alcohol. So it basically dries your throat out, alcohol, and it renders you kind of incapable of hitting high notes, because it kind of cuts you off. And one of a really good example that I always use to people, so I don't really drink anymore. The only times that I really drink are when I go out with my friends every 6 months, I'd say, and even then I probably only have a few cocktails. I don't really drink that much. But one of the reasons is because I used to drink quite a bit. I used to go out all the time, and what would happen is if I had a gig the next day, I would barely be able to speak the next day. And this is because alcohol relaxes your vocal cords. And then what happens is if you're in a busy club or a pub and you're shouting to someone, that's going to really stress your vocal cords, and they're already relaxed. So it basically means that the next day you can wake up and you can not even have a voice. And that is essentially what happened to me. I kept losing my voice over and over again. And I was so confused as to why. I was like, what's going on? I don't get it. I didn't even drink that much. Or is it just the alcohol? I don't know. I had this and this and this also. And yeah, it basically just restricts your singing voice. It is really not good to do. I know that some singers like alcohol because it gives them a bit of a rasp on their voice. But if you want your voice sounding crystal clear, I know that I like mine to sound crystal clear, then I will not even touch alcohol. The best thing that you can drink is lemon and honey in hot water, warm water, and even ginger in hot water really, really does the job. But drinking alcohol can really leave you feeling tender, and it's just not a good idea to do. It makes you think that, you will be able to hit the notes, you'll have the confidence because you've, had some Dutch courage, but unfortunately it will restrict you when you actually do sing. It tightens your vocal cords, it's really strenuous, and it's just not good. So, I hope that these tips help you today on the things to avoid. Going through the list again, we have dairy, chocolate, caffeine, ice water, and alcohol. So those 5 things to avoid before your performance, and you'll be sounding epic. Things to eat are healthy meals, so fruit and veg is always good, lots of vitamin A, and make sure that you drink lots of water and drink warm water too, and this will really, really help. People always say to me whenever they hear me sing, how do you always sound so on form? And unless I have a cold, of course, but it's literally because I just avoid these things before I sing, and I make sure to rest when I need to. Vocal rest is also very important. If you are singing a lot, you need to rest and try not to talk too much or shout. Definitely not shout. And also whispering is actually really bad for your voice. So there are my extra tips today, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this CVLOG. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you found these tips helpful, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.